The rusted pickup truck screeched to a halt on the cracked asphalt of Elm Street, its headlights slicing through the twilight like accusations. "Get out, you filthy queer. Ain't no room for your kind in this town anymore," bellowed Harlan from the driver's seat, his face twisted in the red glow of rage. Elias Kane, father, survivor, secret keeper, tumbled into the dust with nothing but the clothes on his back and a heart pounding like a war drum, knowing one wrong move could shatter the fragile empire he'd built in shadows for his boy. Elias wiped the gravel from his palms, tasting blood where his lip had split against the steering wheel. Harlan's crew, 3 burly shadows spilling out of the truck like spilled oil, loomed over him, their laughter echoing off the sagging porches of Willow Creek, Nebraska. This wasn't the first time. It was just the latest in a lifetime of barbs, ever since he'd buried his partner 10 years back and dared to raise Jamie alone. Pathetic, one of them spat, kicking Elias's worn boot. "Raising that kid without a real ma. What kind of future you givin' him, Eli? Hand-me-downs and fairy tales." He didn't fight back. Not tonight. Not ever, if he could help it. Elias rose slowly, eyes fixed on the distant flicker of his trailer park lights, where Jamie waited with homework half done and dreams too big for this dust-choked horizon. The men jeered as he walked away, their taunts chasing him like stray dogs. "Freak! Loser! Go back to the city where you belong." But Elias Kane had never belonged anywhere except the quiet hours after midnight, when he'd slip into the back room of the auto shop, tallying pennies in a coffee can that held more than grease and regret. By the time he limped through the chain-link gate of Shady Oaks Trailer Park, the moon hung low, silvering the rusted swings where kids once played before life ground their joy to grit. Jamie's face lit up in the trailer window, all freckles and fire, 16 years old, with Elias's dark curls and a spark that no amount of small-town venom could snuff. "Dad? What happened? Your lip." The boy was at the door in seconds, towel in hand, eyes wide with that fierce protectiveness that made Elias's chest ache. "Nothin', kiddo." Slipped on some oil at the shop. Elias forced a grin, ruffling Jamie's hair as they stepped inside. The trailer smelled of canned chili and fresh laundry, home, pieced together from thrift store miracles and Elias's unyielding will. Their life was a patchwork. Elias wrenching engines by day at Harlan's garage, irony's cruelest joke, tutoring algebra online by night for extra cash, and always siphoning a sliver into the can. 500 here, 200 there. Stolen from overtime he never claimed, from tips he pretended weren't enough. 10 years of it, buried deeper than his grief for Marcus, the man who'd whispered promises in the dark before cancer claimed him. Jamie didn't buy the lie, but he let it slide, like always. "Coach says I could start quarterback next season. If I bulk up," he flexed comically, earning a real laugh from Elias. Football was Jamie's armor in Willow Creek, where being the gay mechanic's son already painted a target on his back. Whispers followed him in the halls. "Kane's boy. Figures he'd throw like a girl." But Jamie threw like lightning, and Elias watched every practice from the bleachers, heart swelling with a pride too vast for words. That night, as rain pattered the tin roof, Elias pulled the can from its hiding spot under the floorboard. $3,000. Not a fortune to the world, but to them, ticket out. College for Jamie, someplace like Lincoln or even Chicago, where dreams didn't die in the dirt. Elias traced the dents in the metal, remembering Marcus's voice. "Build something for him, Eli. Something they can't touch," he'd promised. And God help him, he'd keep it. The next morning dawned sticky and unforgiving, the kind of Nebraska heat that clung like judgment. Elias clocked in at the garage early, tools in hand, ignoring Harlan's smirk from the office window. "Rough night," Kane, look like you wrestled a steer. The boss's laugh boomed, drawing nods from the other mechanics. Good old boys who'd once been Marcus's friends. Until the funeral. Until the rumors. Elias swallowed the retort, diving into a carburetor rebuild. Work was his sanctuary, the one place where hands spoke louder than hate. Mid-afternoon, the bell jingled, and in walked Connor Hale, town newcomer, history teacher at the high school, with eyes like storm clouds and a smile that could disarm a grenade. 35, divorced, or so the gossip went, and the first man in years to look at Elias without pity or poison. They'd met months back at the library, bonding over dog-eared copies of Steinbeck. Elias, Connor said now, leaning on the counter with that easy grace. Jamie's essay on Of Mice and Men. Brilliant. Kids got your fire. Elias straightened, wiping sweat from his brow, feeling seen in a way that twisted something deep inside. He's the smart one. I just keep the lights on. Their eyes held a beat too long, charged with the unspoken. Connor's hand brushed his accidentally or not, passing over a rag. Dinner sometime? My place. No pressure. The invitation hung there, simple as sunrise, but to Elias, it was a cliff edge. Romance? After Marcus? After the town's endless crusade? He nodded, voice rough. Yeah, I'd like that. Word spread like prairie fire. By evening, as Elias picked up Jamie from practice, the whispers had teeth. At the diner, Willow's greasy heart, Harlan held court at the counter, nursing a coffee black as his soul. Heard Kane's got a new playmate. That fancy teacher. Figures, birds of a feather, right? Laughter rippled through the booths, forks pausing mid-air. Old Mrs. Hargrove clucked her tongue. Poor Jamie. What kinda example's that? Jamie overheard, slamming his locker later at school, the metal echoing his fury. Connor pulled him aside in the hall, voice gentle. Hey, it's okay to be mad. But your dad's strong. Stronger than they know. Jamie searched the man's face, seeing the kindness and something more, a quiet longing that mirrored his own hidden sketches of boys from the city, dreams he buried under shoulder pads. That night, over microwave pizza, Jamie confronted Elias. Is it true? About Mr. Hale? Elias froze, fork halfway to his mouth. The boy's eyes weren't accusing. They were hopeful, aching for normalcy. Dad, it's okay if it is. I just don't want you alone forever. Elias's throat tightened. He pulled Jamie into a hug, the kind that said everything words couldn't. I ain't alone, kid. Got you. But as Jamie slept, Elias lay awake, Connor's number burning in his pocket like a talisman. For the first time in years, hope flickered, fragile, fierce, forbidden. Weeks blurred into a tentative rhythm. Dinners with Connor became a ritual. Shared plates of lasagna, debates over Dylan Thomas, Jamie tagging along with shy grins. Connor's bungalow on the edge of town felt like a world apart. Bookshelves groaning, a record player spinning Coltrane, windows open to fireflies dancing in the dusk. One evening, as Jamie sketched in the corner, Connor's hand found Elias's under the table, thumb tracing circles that sent sparks up his arm. You're building something beautiful here, Connor murmured later. On the porch, stars wheeling overhead. Not just for him. For you too. Elias leaned in, their foreheads touching, breath mingling in the humid air. It was a kiss unspoken yet inevitable. A brush of lips that tasted of possibility, of healing the scars Harlan's fists couldn't reach. I can't lose this, Elias whispered. Not again. But Willow Creek had other plans. Harlan, sensing weakness, escalated. At the garage, Shifts stretched endless. Pay docked for attitude. Bills piled like accusations. Electric. Water. The truck's ailing transmission. Elias dipped into the can once. Just $50 for Jamie's cleats, hating the hollow clink it made. Connor noticed the shadows under his eyes. "Let me help," he offered one night, slipping an envelope into Elias's jacket. For the boy. No strings. Pride warred with desperation. But Elias accepted, the weight of it both gift and chain. Their romance deepened in stolen moments. A hand on the small of his back at the farmer's market. A late-night call after a school play where Jamie shone. Elias opened up about Marcus, the laughter in their first apartment, the quiet vows under Nebraska skies. Connor shared his own losses. A marriage crumbled under unspoken truths, a move to Willow to start fresh. "You make me believe in second chances," he said, pulling Elias close by the record player's hum. Yet betrayal brewed in the diner's haze. Harlan, nursing grudges older than Jamie, overheard Connor at the bar, voice slurred with beer. "Elias is the real deal. Saved every dime for that kid, thousands. Hidden away. It was innocent. A toast to a friend." But Harlan twisted it, eyes gleaming with malice. "Fortune. Let's see how the queer's sittin' on gold while we scrape by." The plot thickened like storm clouds rolling in. Harlan rallied the old guard mechanics, farmers, the diner's regulars, painting Elias as a hoarder, a fraud living off welfare myths while pocketing cash. Petitions circulated. Evict the Canes from the trailer park. Boycott the garage. Anonymous calls to social services hinted at neglect. Jamie's unnatural home. The boy felt it first. Shoves in the locker room. Graffiti on his truck. Daddy's little secret. Elias shielded him, lying through clenched teeth. "Just talk, kid." Blows over. But inside, panic clawed. He confided in Connor over coffee one rain-lashed afternoon. The bungalow's lamps casting long shadows. "They're comin' for us. Always have. But the can. It's all we got." Connor's face hardened. Not with fear, but resolve. "We'll fight. Together." That night, Harlan's crew cornered them outside the grocery. Elias loading bags. Jamie at his side. "Hand it over, Kane," Harlan growled, blocking the truck. "That stash you been braggin' about. Share the wealth, or we make life hell." Jamie stepped forward, fists balled. "Leave us alone." A shove, a scuffle. Elias pulled his son back as fists flew. Connor appeared like a thunderclap, wrenching Harlan away. "Enough. This town's better than you." Sirens wailed distant, scattering the mob. In the aftermath, bruised and breathless, the four of them drove to Connor's, family forged in fire. But trust, once cracked, spreads. Days later, Elias found the can lighter by half. 2,000 gone, vanished from its floorboard crypt. His blood ran cold. Who? The trailer showed no signs, lock picked clean. Jamie swore innocence, eyes pleading. Connor was at school, alibi ironclad, desperation clawed. Harlan's doing? Or closer, a knife from within? Accusations simmered unspoken. Elias withdrew, romance fraying like old rope. "Can't trust no one," he muttered to Jamie, who watched his father unravel with a son's helpless rage. Connor confronted him at the garage, rain sheeting the windows. "It's me, isn't it? You think I—" Hurt flashed in his eyes, raw as an open wound. "I love you, Elias. Damn it, I do. And I'd never—" The words hung, a confession too late or too soon. Elias turned away, the can's echo mocking them both. Love don't pay bills. Or keep secrets. The storm broke on a Friday, harvest moon fat and furious. Town hall meeting, Harlan's witch hunt disguised as concern. The auditorium buzzed. Farmers in overalls. Teachers averting eyes. Mrs. Hargrove clutching her pearls. Elias stood at the back with Jamie and Connor, a united front cracking at the seams. Harlan took the mic, voice oily. Elias Kane's been playin' us for fools. Hoardin' cash while beggin' handouts. I seen proof thousands. Time to make him pay. Murmurs swelled to roars. Thief! Get out! Jamie gripped Elias's hand, whispering, Dad, tell him. But Elias hesitated, the fortune's secret his last shield. Connor squeezed his shoulder. Now or never, he stepped forward, voice steady as rebar. Y'all mock me, call me names, beat me down. But every dime, it ain't for me. It's for him. He nodded to Jamie, pulling the battered can from his jacket. Miraculously recovered that morning. Returned anonymously to the trailer door with a note. For the boy. Forgive. 10 years. Blood. Sweat. For his college. His chance to be more than this town's hate. Silence crashed like thunder. Harlan blustered, but eyes shifted, guilt. Shame rippling through the crowd. Farmer stood. We didn't know. Whispers turned to apologies. Halting. Human. Mrs. Hargrove wept openly. Forgive us, Elias. We've been blind. The betrayal's source? Connor confessed later, under starlit confession on the porch. It was him, not theft, but doubt. In panic, fearing Harlan's reach, he'd borrowed the money to pay off a debt from his past, intending return. Stupid. Scared. But seeing you up there, I saw the man I love. Strong. Unbreakable. Elias forgave, pulling him close. The kiss now a vow sealed in moonlight. We build together now. No more hiding. Months later, Willow Creek transformed. Slow as spring thaw. Harlan fired. Garage sold to Elias with community loans. Ironic grace. Jamie aced his SATs. Envelope from Lincoln University thick with promise. At graduation, under cheering stands, Elias watched his son stride the field, Connor's hand warm in his. The can, now 5 grand strong, sat safe in a bank box, symbol of resilience, not riches. In the quiet after, as fireflies danced, Elias whispered to the wind carrying Marcus's echo. We made it, love. For him. For us. Human hearts, flawed and fierce, wove a tapestry of redemption, not perfect, but profoundly real. In America's heartland, where hate once ruled, love quietly claimed its throne.